What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of Her Talks on the New Millennium Culture Network. Shout out to the team, you know what I'm saying? All right. First and foremost, today we're gonna talk about the NBA season, and this was a very interesting season, uh, to say the least. But it was a pretty good season. Um, you already know. We're gonna start off with. You already know what my team is. Flat out, hands down, Cleveland Cavs. Uh, even though we're in rebuilding stage. Anytime LeBron leaves us, we go back instantly to the rebuilding stage. But that's all right. So first thing we're gonna talk about is and speaking of LeBron, the comments he made prior to the season starting about how this season will probably be injury prone, and they should just shorten the season and give them some more rest, which I definitely agree with. I didn't think they should have started the season at the time they did start it, because of the injuries, and the Lakers had the shortest amount of time. Lakers and the Miami Heat, which they only had, I think, 71 days in between the end of the finals and the start of the new season, which is unheard of, to be honest. But it happens, and it was a pretty good season. Everybody wanted to get back to some kind of normality, because of what happened last year. So it was pros and cons to it, but I definitely agree with a lot with what LeBron said, and it showed at the end of the year with injuries. There was a lot of injuries, the most ever for like superstars and all stars in the playoffs, as far as injuries. And basically, this season was about who can outlast the injuries. Uh, it was way too many injuries, especially in the playoffs. And you can see the teams that went further in the playoffs did not go that far in the season or the playoffs last year. So we know how that goes. All right. I do want to congratulate the Milwaukee Bucks on winning the championship. Regardless of what happened, injuries, and that, they still won the championship, and that is a fact. All right, let's see what we got here. First and foremost, I am a LeBron fan. I was hoping the Lakers did a little something this year, but I did not, and I was saying it all year. I did not bet on them winning the championship again this past season, because of what happened and how they were basically rushed into the season. So I kind of figured they would not win it all. So hey, but it happens. Next, I'm going to go to, let's start with the champions, the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis had a great season. Um, he definitely showed why he was a former MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. He definitely stepped his game up in the playoffs and especially in the finals. I'm not gonna lie, at first it looked like it was going to be Suns in four, but it ended up being Bucks in six. They won four straight. First two games, they took them L's to Phoenix, but the next four games they they turned up on them boys, man. It was wow. That's all I'm gonna say is wow. And then he ended it with a 50 piece. That was definitely impressive. And I think only one other player ever done that in a clinching uh, playoff game or clinching finals game. So that's definitely to be in that category with only one other person is amazing. And it's only I think 7 or 8 who actually scored a 50 piece in the finals. Like it's not that many people who've done that as well. So definitely an impressive category to be in. Next, we're going to go to the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns. This was a magical year. I honestly thought they were going to win. I was like, Chris Paul gonna finally get him a ring. That's literally, I think, all he's missing. To be honest, is the championship. He's definitely already, in my eyes, first ballot Hall of Famer, without a doubt. But that championship, man, it means a lot, and that is definitely what he's missing. He definitely needs that championship. So we'll see if he gets one. I think this was his. This might be his own. That might have been his only shot, an opportunity at a championship. I don't know if he'll ever make it back there, to be honest. But only time will tell. Because the West is stacked, man. The West is stacked, and I don't think the West will have as many injuries as they did this year. Um, all the teams that had a chance to win the West had, injury to their star player. You had Denver with Jamal Murray. You had Kawhi with the Clippers, AD with the Lakers. Those are some terrible injuries to key players on those teams. So the Western Conference is definitely strong. Next year, I am excited to see who's going to win the Western Conference. I honestly believe it's going to come down to one of the LA teams. And that's what I said this year, but injuries kind of changed that outcome. So, but we'll see. Next year, it, for the Clippers, it really depends on Kawhi's health. I'm not sure where he's at, but I don't know. We'll see. The East is getting stronger. The West used to dominate over the East, but I don't believe the East is. I don't believe the East is stronger than the West, but they are getting stronger. So, and it's funny when LeBron went to the West, everybody started going to the East, but things like that happen. The West is getting weaker. A lot of people are moving to the East, but I honestly think that the West will win it next year. Depending on injuries. Um, as of right now, I have like it also depends on how fast Kawhi comes back, but I have the Lakers in contention to win the West. Of course, the Clippers, like I said, depending on Kawhi. Even though they're still a great team without Kawhi. Don't get me wrong. So I believe even if he doesn't play this whole season, they're still going to be in the playoffs. Now win the West. I'm not picking them to win the West without Kawhi, but they'll still be in the playoffs for sure. The Suns will be back. Um, they're probably going to come back with a vengeance, but we'll see. We will see. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm more on the verge of agreeing with you, Matt, that the Lakers will win it. It's they still have some more pieces to the puzzle that they have to. I think they have 3 more roster spots, so I believe that they will complete complete with players. I want to see who they get, but I believe they will win it. I know a lot of people have been saying, Westbrook is not a good fit with LeBron and this and that. I believe, based off of the past, it doesn't seem like Westbrook is a good fit for the Lakers. But if he really wants to win a championship for his hometown team, I believe he will learn to play better, play with LeBron. We seen hints of it when he was playing with James Harden, how he was a little bit more laid back and off the ball. Hopefully he works on his shooting a little more. But we'll see what happens. But that's I'm gonna talk about that more in another episode. So this episode I want to keep on this past season. The injuries were just too much to handle for a lot of people. Um, I honestly believe um, without injuries, it would have been the Clippers or the Lakers for the West, and the East, hands down, it would have been Brooklyn, the Brooklyn Nets in the finals, hands down. They if KD would have had his foot on the line, they would have beat the Milwaukee Bucks anyway, even with the injuries. So I believe that they could have made it even with those injuries. If it wasn't for that one shot, he had his foot on the line, and they ended up going overtime, and that was it. But we'll have another conversation if that would have been considered a three instead of a two. But I don't think they would have won it. I don't think KD would have carried that team to a championship. But I believe he could have at least got them to the finals. But I definitely would have picked the Suns over the Nets if James Harden was still that hurt. He was a shell of himself in that Bucks series, and then Kyrie was out. So yeah, I don't believe KD alone would have beat the Phoenix Suns. So the Nets definitely will come back strong this year. Philly is making some moves for next year. Last year, I think Philly self-destruct. They self-destructed again. They definitely need to. Ben Simmons has to go. Period. Point blank. Ben Simmons has to go, and that's just the end of it. Or he has to play different. I believe they are thinking about getting rid of Kyrie. Honestly, uh, first and foremost, I don't know how much longer he's going to play. Kyrie is so out there. He was talking about, in past years, I'm going to retire when I'm 30 and this and that and blah, blah, blah. So I'm not even sure if he's going to be playing even past this season. So I don't know. I really don't know. Uh, but out of the superstars for the Nets, Kyrie might be the first one to go. So I understand. I understand. But Kyrie is a great player regardless. I hate how he left Cleveland. That was some bull, and we all know it. But he found out what it truly takes to be a leader of a team and how to lead a team in Boston, which he failed at. So I think he understands a little bit more now, and of course, whoa, hold on, I wasn't gonna say all that. Yeah, Kyrie is definitely not trash. He's definitely one of the top point guards if you want to put him in that category in the league. I definitely ain't gonna say he trash, but that's your opinion. But yeah, he is a great player. Of course, he helped win my team a championship. I always appreciate him for that. But yeah, I don't know about trash though. So the Nets, I think they'll make it back this year. Last year, a lot of people were saying the Nets were either championship or bust. No, I didn't agree with that because of the shortened season and the circumstances for this past season, and then as we see, the injuries kind of derail their season. So I don't know. That's a great question. Um, don't know exactly who makes the phone calls to players for the Olympics, but whoever it is needs to step their game up because they're not calling the right people. You know what? Let's speak on the Olympics real quick. I'm gonna go off topic for a quick second. The Olympics, there was a lot of talk, and congratulations to the Olympic team as well for winning gold. I'm glad they did do that. Um, but there was a lot of talk about how the world is catching up to us, and we're not, destroying people or dominating these other countries. And there was like because first off, when you these, I think Dame said when they playing for their country, they on a whole nother level than when they're playing in the NBA, which is true. And then also is this the familiarity with those people, and when you're playing for your country, it brings a different kind of style of play out of you. You know what I'm saying? It's a different meaning than in the NBA. So, and then these are people they grew up with. These are people that speak their language, that's in their culture. So it's a total difference than when they're playing in the NBA. So they're a little bit more comfortable. They're at home, and it's a big difference. So of course they're going to play different. They're going to play better. They're going to have a different game because some of them are reducing their roles in the NBA, and over when they play for their country, they're not reducing their roles and they get to play a little bit more freely. So of course it's going to be different. But I said KD did throw a couple of shots back at people for saying that the world was catching up to us, and how do y'all think we were going to lose, and blah blah blah. Gilbert Arenas put out a video, and he explained it perfectly. He said the world is not catching up to us. We want to see the Olympic team destroy everybody and dominate everybody like the Dream Team did in '92. But he said you have to look at the players on the Olympics. And if we want to do that, let's compare them to the Dream Team. The Dream Team had the top players in every position playing for the Dream Team. This year's Olympic team did not have the top players in every position playing for the Olympic team. So it's kind of it's not even in comparison. Because when he was saying players, if we were to have a team like the Dream Team, half the team that was in Tokyo this year wouldn't even made the team. So if we're not putting our best foot forward, of course it's going to be like, oh, they're catching up. But we're not putting the number one and number two in each position on the team like the Dream Team had. The Dream Team, you know what I'm saying, they had Jordan, Bird, Magic, Stockton, Karl Malone, Patrick Ewing, David Robinson. Like these are all top 50 players of all time. This year's Olympic team had maybe two people that could be considered top 50 players. So it's a big difference. We didn't have the top players of all time that are currently playing for the Olympics. There was no LeBron. There was no Curry. There was no Kawhi. Those kind of caliber players weren't playing in the Olympics. So if those just those three alone, if they were playing, they would probably blow everybody out by 40, to be honest, compared to the team now. Yeah, this team, this year's team I don't know who constructed this team, but I don't know what they were thinking about. First and foremost, Kevin Love was on the team. First off, get Kevin Love out of Cleveland, and why the hell was he even considered to be on the Olympic team? That was the dumbest shit I ever seen. But yeah, that's a whole nother episode. I'm tired of Kevin Love, to be honest. He need to get gone and get that big ass contract off our books so we can get somebody else in Cleveland. But they didn't have no real big man on the team. They had to go get JaVale McGee, which was that was horrible. Your big man was Draymond and Bam Adebayo. Like they're not even real centers. There was no real center on the team. So that was terrible, man. That was terrible. And we know these other teams have real big men, and they made it work. But I don't know how long that's gonna work. We need real big men on the team. Okay, overseas players that the Dream Team played against wasn't that good compared to overseas players. Now that is also true. Uh, that is also true. But the overseas players now are, they have NBA players, so they're more talented and all of that. But still, the players in the NBA from the United States, we are still far beyond talented than those players, even though they're in the NBA. And it's still no comparison if we were to put out the best NBA talent from the United States. JaVale is an NBA champion, yes, but he shouldn't have been the first call at center for a true 7-footer. Let me say that. He shouldn't have been the first call. So, me and one of my coworkers were looking down the list at true centers that were from the United States, well, that were in the NBA, and honestly, most of the top centers were from overseas, which I was a little shocked. I was like, wow, that's crazy. Like, you got Joker, you got you got Embiid and people like that. They're not from the United States. So I believe, me personally, JaVale and Dwight would have been a better choice for me at true center for the Olympics. Even though the USA team didn't need a center that needed to score a lot of do this and that. The USA team just needed a center that's a big body that can defend and rebound against some other big man. That's all they really needed. Yeah, we're the USA team. The NBA players that are from the USA compared to the world are far more talented. Still, in my eyes, is I don't know if they're ever going to be uh, going to the world is going to catch up to the USA as far as talent. But we'll see. Time will tell. Yeah, he is best at. He's trying to improve his offensive game. They didn't play him that much for what I've seen. I didn't watch all the games, so I can't really give a good overall evaluation of what JaVale McGee did. But what I've seen, he did his job nonetheless. But the USA team definitely needed KD. Without KD, they wouldn't have won gold. Period. Point blank. Uh, I'm glad he went and played for USA. I kind of figured everybody was talking about LeBron trying to get his last hoorah. I figured he wasn't going to do that, especially with Space Jam and all that. And he's going into his 19th season now. Like, I don't know why people are expecting him to go this late in his career. It's definitely a young man's game. This is probably KD's. That's probably why he went. This is probably going to be his last Olympics. So, because in 4 years, he's going to be, 36, 37. So I doubt he goes if he's still playing. So, but we'll see. The next round of superstars are going to be interesting. Hopefully, Tatum kind of fills into that KD role for the next Olympics, as far as superstars who that you always need that one person who can take the game over. Hopefully, it's either Tatum or Dame Lillard or somebody like that. But it's usually more of a small forward position guy. So I think Tatum might be the next guy to take it over. Uh, Jason Tatum is not Kobe. We definitely know that. So, um, but he's still very talented nonetheless. I believe for a USA team, he could take over. Um, I have no doubt in my mind. Now, as far as the NBA goes, I'm not sure if he'll ever win a championship in Boston. That's my opinion. I don't believe they. I think they had their opportunity when, but they had to face LeBron, and they had the opportunity. They lost against Miami. They lost against. Uh, I think they lost against Brooklyn or somebody else another year. Like they had the opportunity. I think they won't ever win. He won't win one in Boston with this currently constructed team that they have. And next episode, I think I'm gonna speak on the Dennis was it Schroeder, how you say his name, going to Boston. Yeah, he definitely fumbled the bag on that, but we'll see how that goes. Boston to me is not currently constructed to win the championship. And then they traded, to get Horford back, and I don't know why they did that. I guess they just love him not like that much, but I don't believe that they'll have much success in the near future. As far as the East goes, I figured Miami wouldn't do too much this past year because of last season, but they made some moves this year, so we'll see. Also in the East, listen, give my Cavs about 3 more years. We're gonna be back in talks, but we'll talk about that in another episode. This past year, my Cavs, we didn't do so well, but we did make some moves this past year that I do like, and we'll see how the future goes for our players. And I want to say that this season was a failure. Um, our record was kind of what I expected, so I'm not upset. I think we could have done a little better, but we were still in the lottery, so we'll see what happens in the future for my Cavs. Other than that, the East was pretty decent this year. Brooklyn, as far as roster wise, was the most talented, hands down in the East. Milwaukee. So Milwaukee went about it winning the championship kind of the old school way, which I'm kind of glad that happened. But Giannis, I believe, is kind of a new age. I heard this and I kind of agree with it. Now, I'm not saying he's on this level of this player, but he's a new age Shaq in terms of, he's not a shooter. He's not this and that, but he dominates in the paint. That's just what he does. He's going to get to the paint. He's so long and he do the Euro step. He's going to get the shot he wants in the paint. So what's going on, Pops? I already know. So I've been hearing some things that he's probably going to be gone by the beginning of the season. We'll see. We'll see. And for those who don't know who he's talking about Colin Sexton. I like Sexton. He's tough, but he's not a point guard. He's that's why he was moved. Marcel is talking about Colin Sexton. He's not a point guard, so that's why he was moved to the 2 spot, and they gave Darius Garland more of the ball handling responsibility. So I believe he did facilitate the ball more, and he was a better shooter. Yeah, Sexton can grow. Like I said, I like him, but for what we want to do, we don't need a point guard that's going to dominate the basketball that much. Um, he was kind of going on the path of Westbrook in OKC. That's why things didn't potentially work out there because he dominated the ball way too much. So we'll see. But back to Milwaukee. I believe this championship is it for them for a long time again. I don't believe they'll make it back, especially if Brooklyn's healthy. I don't believe they have a chance. Except Miami, I think is going to make a strong comeback. Boston, I don't know. Philly are making some moves, so we'll see. Harden, nothing else matters. Of course, you will say that. King 8. Harden need to stay healthy. Period. Point blank. He keep getting hurt at crucial times, and he hasn't won anything. So we'll see what he does. And Harden is a great player, but he gets hurt at the wrong time of the year. But Brooklyn, I don't know. I believe they'll self-destruct again. Listen, hold on now. Not too much on my Cavs, so bro. I know we're not that great. I understand that. But what we're trying to build, you can't be a ball hog from what we're trying to build, because you're on the path of Westbrook and OKC, or you're on the path of Ricky Davis when he was with the Cavs. We can't handle another Ricky Davis. Yeah. Now that's also true. So hopefully this next year, I want to see them healthy in the playoffs to see what they can truly do. Because I want the best playing the best in the playoffs and the best playing the best in the finals next year. So hopefully they stay healthy the whole season next year, and I really want to see what they can do. Yeah, KD is sickly too. I'm glad he was able to play for the USA and win gold, because without him, I truly believe we wouldn't have won gold without him. All right. So this past year, once again, I believe it was the fight to who's going to outlast injuries. So I give Milwaukee Bucks their credit for winning the championship, but I truly believe that Milwaukee and Phoenix wouldn't have been in the finals if everyone was healthy. Like I truly believe that. First off, Atlanta wouldn't have made it as far as they did if everybody was healthy. The Knicks were just too happy to even be in the playoffs. They got wiped off. But I believe the Knicks will make some moves on in the future. I'm gonna talk about that in another episode. I don't like all the moves the Lakers made. They too old, man. They're getting a little too old. Where everybody, the average age on your team shouldn't be the average age on the team. I think 33. 33 years old. That means you were born in 88. Bro, we getting old, fam. We shouldn't be. Somebody my age should not be the average. The average age of the team. We on the old side now. Yeah. But next episode, man, when I talk about this upcoming season, I'm gonna talk about uh the off season, all these trades, signings, the summer league, the draft. I'm talking about all that next episode. But now, um, I don't. Oh, speaking of the finals, I don't want to hear Sons of Four no more from anybody. The shit's dead. It's over with. It's done. I don't believe that. I don't believe they're gonna have this run ever again. This was a magical year for them. Cut it out. No more Sons of Four. Period. Point blank. So the Clippers. If Kawhi didn't get hurt, I truly believe they would have been in the finals and possibly won it all this year. I think this was as soon as the Lakers were eliminated, I was like, Clippers gonna win it all. I didn't even want to watch anymore. I was like, yeah, the Clippers gonna win, but Kawhi went down, and we see what happened. So the Lakers made some moves. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna keep it to next week. But this past year, the Lakers, AD, man, he got to get right. He got to get his body right, man. He's too injury prone to be this young. He's in his prime, and he gets injured too much. Injuries are part of the game. Yes, they are. But it's things you can do to prevent prevent certain injuries. Let me say that. We see LeBron didn't really start missing games to the last couple of years, but of course he's older. But before that, if you take care of your body, man, you will be available. And I believe taking care of your body and being available for your team is a part of your job, period, point blank. Injuries are part of the game. Things happen. Freak accidents happen. I'm not going to deny that. But being available for your team is a part of your job. You're getting paid millions of dollars to perform. Take care of your body and perform. You're getting paid to win. You cannot play to win if you're injured. KD, the best scorer in the league, he don't get excuses. KD, okay. KD is the most skilled scorer in the league. But let's not forget LeBron is what, third overall in points. I'm just saying. So let's not forget that point. But KD is a beast. Can't deny that. You know what, bro? Really, I'm not gonna even. I'm just gonna show y'all the comment, and that's it. Because we got a LeBron hater in the building. All right, Skip. KD could have led them with BG. Yeah, well, maybe so. KD, man, listen. I truly believe KD still hasn't showed his full potential, but it's like he defers to other players a little too much sometimes. Like, because on offensively, it's no way to stop him. Like, I don't care what you do, it's no way to stop him. He can shoot over you if he wants to. He can cross you. He can. His mid range is impeccable. Like, it's come on, but I feel like he doesn't always take over the games like he can. But I get it. You can't do it every game all the time. That's just everybody don't have that motor. Like Westbrook got that motor. Something wrong with him though. That's why I think he can do that. Some wrong, but it's hard to have that motor. Yeah, I believe it too. KD, I believe KD can actually be better, but I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like what, and I don't know what stopped him. I don't know if it's like I need to get my teammates involved, or I don't want to. I don't know if he's scared of his true potential or what it is. But I really believe he could be better than what he is currently. It's both hate. Man, all right, I ain't gonna even say too much to King Gate, but this past year, uh, a lot of people who were basketball watchers, some people were into it a lot more, some people weren't. The whole bubble situation, and I don't know. Uh, I'm just glad they actually finished the season. Let me just say that. Regardless of fans or not, they were doing what was the safest at that moment in time. So the bubble, it is what it is. Now this season, I don't know. It was too rushed. It was too condensed. It was a lot of games. I kind of didn't like it all that much. I felt like everything was pressured and rushed this season. So I didn't like it. Too much weed. That might be true. That might be true. Wow. I ain't gonna lie to you. That would have been the ultimate if they would have had SpongeBob there in the bubble. That would have been amazing. I ain't gonna lie to you. But yeah, the bubble was just I didn't like it because it was too quiet and all of this. You only had certain people, but yeah, man. I think this season it was a lot of games on the back end. I didn't like it though. I didn't. Some people were playing back to back to back to back. Like, no, come on, man. Just no, I don't like that. But when it got to the playoffs, I believe we're good, except for all the injuries. But I truly believe that the playoffs were pretty good. Um, oh, but y'all put in the comments, man. One of the main questions: should there be an asterisk by this championship? Um, and my answer to that question, originally, I was like maybe, but I'm gonna go with no because regardless of the fact, injuries are a part of the game. Even though the NBA kind of pushed it along and kind of helped out the injuries, because when you push your body like that, I don't know, something is bound to go wrong when you're pushing your body that hard, that consistently. All right, King Gate, we got one yes so far. It's tough, man. It really kind of was who lasted the longest without injuries. And luck, it's just luckily the Bucks. Giannis was only hurt for what, 2 games against Atlanta, and he came back strong in the finals. So that's what happened. The Suns didn't have no major injuries until the finals. Chris Paul had his little injury in the first round, and then he said, his wrist was messed up, but he was still able to play through it. So I kind of dismissed the wrist injury. So Giannis figured out he was dominant. Yes, that's true. But also, I blame the head coach of the Phoenix Suns. They let him go 1-on-1 with Ayton. That was dumb. They did not build the wall. And even though Giannis did, start passing more often, and he figured out that I can't just always go full steam ahead. He definitely figured that out. But, excuse me. But I truly believe their defensive scheme against him was horrendous, and they didn't change up. They did not change up. If somebody comes and wins 2 to 3 games, and you still don't switch up, that's your fault. That's on the coaches. Period. Point blank. Yes, there's injuries every year in the playoffs, but it wasn't. This was the most ever in history of injuries to superstars and all stars. So, like I said, Brooklyn alone, if just one, either James Harden or Kyrie was 100%, we're not even having this discussion about the Bucks being champions. Period. Point blank. And then in the West, we're not having this discussion about the Phoenix Suns being in the finals if Kawhi don't get hurt or AD. Because even if the Lakers didn't make the finals, the Lakers would have beat Phoenix with if AD wouldn't have got hurt. So, yeah, man, it was just the injuries killed this year, man. The injuries definitely killed this season. But it was still entertaining. I definitely enjoyed this NBA season. And hopefully next year is better. Hopefully next year is better. So that's all I really got to say about this past season. I consider it the year of outlasting the injury. And Milwaukee did it, and Giannis showed up and showed out. I can't take anything away from him. He did what he was supposed to do. Oh, see, here y'all go. Here y'all go. Is her a Laker fan or a Cleveland fan? Listen, making it be known, Cleveland Cavaliers. But I do want to see LeBron win some more rings. That's what I want to see. Whoa, whoa, whoa. All right, so now y'all trying to get disrespectful. Why did Chris Paul go back? I don't know. Money, first and foremost. That's a lot of money. And I believe he truly believes that they can win it. But first off, I'm not a flip-flop in the face. Chill out. I want my Cavs to succeed and be successful. But I know that they are not winning the championship. So, but like I said, I am a LeBron fan. I want LeBron to win more championships. He just happens to play for the Los Angeles Lakers. Okay. No, I am not. I am not a true Laker fan. I'm not going to sit here and say all that. But I know Marcel ain't talking when he had damn Rams jersey on last night during his show talking about I'm still the Lions fan. Nah, bro. You one or the other when it comes in football, you one or the other. Period, point blank. You know what? I'm not no fake fan, but you a hater, King Gay. That's all I'm gonna say. Boy, but you loyal to some trash ass teams, boy. Get out of here with that. That's all I'm gonna say. King Gay, especially them the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah, 120 million for CP3. I'm signing that contract, Bucko. You give me a contract like that, I'm in there. You know what? Pop just said it right. Bam. East Cavs, West Lakers. Period. Point blank. Discussion over with. Yep. I feel you on that. Speaking of the Magic, I believe they gonna make some more moves and do something in the future. I'm gonna talk about them next episode. But the Magic aren't bad, but they need to make some more moves to be to compete for real for real. Now wait a minute, really? JR, my man, even though he trying to play collegiate golf at what North Carolina A&T now, I seen that story on ESPN. So we gonna see. I don't give a damn. The Pittsburgh Steelers are boo boo. I don't care how many rings y'all got. Y'all sound like them Cowboys fans when you do that. But okay. The Bulls made some interesting moves. Um, Atlanta, I think, is going to come back stronger next year. Memphis definitely made some moves, so we'll see. Memphis this past year had a pretty good year. I think they just ran into a well-oiled Golden State to make the playoffs. It happens, you know. But the Bulls did pretty, they tried to make some moves before the trade deadline, but didn't really work out to what they thought it was going to do. But yeah, you live and you learn. He's just trying to get his degree. No, he's trying to play golf. No, I'm not. I ain't gonna say I'm a golf fan. I ain't gonna say all that now. Porzingis needs to leave Dallas. Period. Point blank. He's unhappy. He don't like his role as being the second fiddle to Luka, even though he should have known that was going to happen. But him in Chicago, I don't know if I like that. First off, I'm trying to figure out how they're going to work with all these guards they're getting. So, but I mean, hey, Porzingis is 7'3". So, if that happens, we'll see how it work out. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave that right there. I ain't gonna say nothing else about it. But NBA, I mean, the Bucks won it. I don't know. I kind of don't. I mean, now they did progress over the years. Since Giannis been there. Oh, they make the playoffs, eliminated first round. They made the playoffs, they got to the second round. They made the playoffs, they lost in the conference finals, and they made the playoffs. Now they made it to the finals and they won. So they grinded it out the old school way. They kept progressing every year and year and year. Like we're gonna keep going back. We're gonna keep going back to the playoffs. We lost this year, but next year let's get better. Then that's exactly what they did. Drew Holiday was key though. That was a key trade for them to get Drew Holiday, and PJ Tucker, because they didn't have them two alone with their defense. Them some dogs on defense. So those were some key trades that they made to get them two. Without them two, I don't know, man. They might not have won it without them two, to be honest. Boy, I'm just gonna put that up there. All right, yeah, I ain't gonna say too much more about them the Pittsburgh Steelers, but um, the injuries. That's all I'm gonna say. Injuries, injuries, injuries. I'm gonna leave it at that. Oh, here we go. You know what? We weren't supposed to talk football. Okay, trying to stay on topic. Thank you. Let's bring it back to the NBA. Ben Simmons, I don't know where he's going to end up. I hear Toronto's very interested in him, but I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't believe he needs to leave Philly though. He definitely needs to leave Philly. Period. Point blank. He needs to start over somewhere else. Let it go. Let it go in Philly. I wasn't gonna say Middleton is that dude because he was very inconsistent in the playoffs. He'll drop 40 on you. Next game drop 15. Then he'll drop another 40 on you. Next game drop 18. Like, bro, it was too up and down. Now he did perform well in the finals, but he was still too inconsistent um, over the whole duration of the playoffs and the finals. I didn't like it. He still, he still has some work to do, even though he was a one-time, two-time All-Star. But we'll see. Ben Simmons needs to be at home. They need to be working on his jumper. I don't give a damn what else he do. Work on your jumper. What numbers are wrong? Let me know. Are you talking about the 40, dropping 40 or 30? But if so, I mean, I don't know the exact points, but Middleton was too inconsistent for me. Golden State, I don't like that fit. I don't like that fit at all. Yeah, I'm not going to debate his average, but if you drop 40, then you drop 15, you average 25. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what's going to happen about it. That's what the average is. But I'm saying he was still too up and down for me. So he'll have a great game, then he'll have a what the hell game. But I mean, them averages are good. His average was good. I'm not going to take that away from him. Average was good. That's a good average. Those some good averages to have in the playoffs, but it was inconsistent. No, that's not inconsistent, and I'm gonna say why. Because he averages 27. So if he gets his average, that's not inconsistent. Middleton was going above his average and going below. Uh, so as long as LeBron gets his 25, 27, that's consistent. That's his average. So yeah, no, that's not inconsistent. You're going to have 40, 50-point games if you're a great player, but you should always at least get close to your average. As far as Middleton, when it came to averages, like I said, he have a game where he was 10 points below his average. That's no, you can't do that. Yeah, and I do believe Philly is asking for too much. I don't know if they really want to trade him or not. It's weird. It's too weird. They're asking, yeah, for way too much. I don't know. It, that's surprising to me because it's like it seems like he doesn't want to be there. It seems like y'all know that if the chemistry is not there, but it also seems like they're not really trying to get rid of him. So I don't know. Philly just need to figure it out. If you're gonna let him go, let him go. If not, do something. Just I don't know, but we'll see. All right, y'all. We're coming to an end here of the first episode of Hurt Talks. And it was great. This is great. Thank you for all the commentary. Thanks to everybody else watching on Facebook and YouTube. Also, let me get this up here for y'all. Bam. Make sure y'all go follow NMC Network, New Millennium Culture Network. Make sure y'all go follow, man. NMC_network on IG and Twitter. And then you can just search NMC Network on Facebook and YouTube and we'll pop up. We'll be the first ones to pop up on both of those. Make sure you donate below. Y'all see the Cash App was the cash tag NMC Network. We got the PayPal. It's the same PayPal, same Cash App. Make sure if y'all want to, y'all have something that y'all want to say to us, New Millennial Culture Network at gmail.com. Email us, visit the website, still the same website for now. We do have a new website coming soon because we got new shows for y'all, man. And tomorrow, make sure y'all come back again. New Millennium Culture Podcast. We back at it again tomorrow. And we got a new show on the network for y'all tomorrow. We got Esau. Y'all gonna see. It's gonna be a good show. The next week, we got even more shows coming at y'all. So New Millennium Culture Network, man, we growing, we building, we out here. But make sure y'all donate to the network so we can keep doing things like this for y'all, man. Bringing y'all more content, different people. We trying to make this big, y'all. Help us out. Hey, make sure also audio will be available Friday for all shows this week. Friday, 1 p.m. Noon Central Time. I'm sorry, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Everything will be available. All the audio from last night with Marcel, this show right now, New Millennium Culture Podcast tomorrow night, and Esau Podcast as well after New Millennium Culture Podcast tomorrow. Make sure y'all come back tomorrow, though. Hey, man, once again, thank everybody who came out, who listened, and show me some love. I'm going to holler at y'all tomorrow, man. New Millennial Culture Podcast tomorrow. Holler at me. I'll be back. Peace.